Welcome to Cheat Code Nutrition, the podcast where science meets strategy to help you decode your body and unlock next level health. I'm your host, Ellie Young, functional nutrition practitioner and genetic testing nerd, here to guide you through the real root causes of fatigue, stubborn weight, hormonal chaos, and mystery symptoms the traditional system shrugs off. Whether you're optimizing for longevity, performance, or just want to feel like yourself again, you're in the right place. Around here, we don't guess, we test. We use functional lab work, genetic nutrition, and a no BS approach to precision wellness that works with your body, not against it. If you're ready to ditch the one size fits all protocols and start working with your actual blueprint, this is your cheat code. Let's get into it. If you're health conscious but still stuck guessing, it's time to reset. Foundations Reset is my signature 2-session functional nutrition offer designed to help high performers, wellness seekers, and bio-curious optimizers finally get clarity on what's driving their symptoms. Together, we'll review your full health history, clean up your diet and supplements, and choose targeted functional tests like the GI map for gut health, genetic testing for personalized nutrition, or the Dutch panel for hormones, so you can stop guessing and start healing. If you already have labs your doctor gave you but didn't explain, I can review those too and actually turn that data into action, because the future of medicine puts you in control, and I'm here to guide the way. Ready to get started? Head to mycheatcodenutrition.com, or you can DM me Reset and let's build your custom plan. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Cheat Code Nutrition. I can't talk already. I just stumbled on my own name, nutrition. Hello. So this episode is about how we can boost immunity and your gut health during the holiday season. So if you're like me, you've been just teetering, right? Teetering on the edge of sickness. It's a tough time. The cards are stacked against us this time of year. More parties, more sugar, more alcohol, late nights, family stress. The stress is a killer, you guys. It really just eats away at us. All that cozy indulgence and all the immune suppression that comes with it. And it all impacts your gut. The gut is the command center of your immune system. And when it gets overloaded with inflammation, stress, processed foods, we lose our resilience. So when you know you're on the edge of getting sick, that feeling, that's your sign that the scales are tipping towards imbalance, okay? And you have a window, you have an opportunity to tip them back the other way. The gut is like a garden. It's not something that you can just kind of one and done be like, I take my probiotic and I'm good. It's like, no. It's something you constantly need to tend to every day. You want to try and nourish it. And when storms come along, like they do during the holiday season of alcohol and bad sleep and stress and the junk food and all the sugar, right? And it just kind of wipes out that gut balance, that teeter-totter of gut balance starts to tip towards a position where are not immune resistant. Your immune system is not strong. You don't have this gut lining that helps support your immune system. So the good news is you can tip them back, and you don't have to be perfect to do it. You just have to seize your opportunities when you can. And I really want you to get you thinking about this in a different way. So like, hey, I have this moment. I have an afternoon. Sometimes it's literally just hours of like, hey, what can I do to really shore up my immune system right now and shore up my gut health? So here is how I've been boosting my immunity, avoiding colds, and supporting my family's gut health in small daily ways this season. Because honestly, I feel like we've been walking a tightrope and somehow we have stayed not getting sick. I'm probably jinxing myself right now. But honestly, I felt like we've been on the edge, and there's been some key new practices that I started incorporating that are really, I think, keeping us on the good side of things. So, number one, first and foremost, we have to try to remove the gut disruptors. Now, you don't need to go full on elimination diet to see benefits here. Just give your gut a break when you can. Okay, the holiday season is tough, but if you have a day, an afternoon, a morning when you can avoid these things, let's do it. So, number one, try removing, even temporarily, alcohol, right? Alcohol is wiping out that gut balance. It is truly making you vulnerable every single time you drink it. It causes inflammation, it wrecks your sleep, it disrupts your hormone balance, it wipes out the gut bacteria that are responsible for making all of these short chain fatty acids that help you live a beautiful life. So we don't want to be drinking. So again, when you can avoid it, when you can take a night off, when you can say no to a party and spend a night at home nourishing yourself and resting and sleeping well, do it, right? Prioritize it, because I'm not saying you have to be perfect and not drink it all this entire holiday season, but when you can, give your gut that break. Alcohol is one of the number one offenders. Number two, processed foods and sugar. This is obvious. We all know this one, but the more you can, everyone is kinda has this all or nothing approach. It's like, "Oh, it's a holiday season, so I'll start my diet in January." No, just think about every little moment, every meal that you can incorporate less processed foods, less sugar, and more color, more fiber, more like whole, clean food. You're winning, right? You're just trying to tip the scales. You're just trying to stack the bricks up on that side of the teeter-totter so that your gut health stays in favor of the good gut bacteria. All right, next up, gluten and dairy. Again, you don't have to be sensitive to think you need to avoid these things. They're both inflammatory. So, any little window of time or meal that you can avoid gluten and dairy, it will help with inflammation. It will help give your gut a chance to kind of calm down. Especially if you have been drinking and eating poorly, giving your gut a little break from the gluten and the dairy can again give that gut time to kind of calm down and start to rebuild a nice healthy layer. And think of this as like a gut reset day, not a forever plan. Just try to stack a few good days in between the celebrations, and you will start to build back balance. This is critical. Um, I want to just give you a little side note on the gluten. So I've been gluten free for over a year now. And again, I never thought I had any type of intolerance or sensitivity to it. However, my inflammation, notably my puffiness, my aches and pains, swelling, just kind of in general throughout my body, notably was reduced when I removed gluten. And again, if it sneaks in there occasionally here and there right now without me intending it, I don't like overwhelmingly notice it. But I do know when, especially now that it's been a year and I can really look back at pictures of myself and compare, I'm like, whoa, I am notably less inflamed, less puffy looking in general because I don't eat gluten. And here's a bonus. If you have a weakness for Christmas cookies, which I do, being gluten-free means you skip the Christmas cookies. I don't eat Christmas cookies, which normally take me down in the past. I never just eat one. I'll eat the entire frickin' plate that my neighbor dropped off. And right now I'm staring down multiple sets of cookies that our neighbors, we have a bunch of cookie cooking neighbors, and they bring them over and I haven't had any. And believe me, I want a gluten-free Christmas cookie. I'm just too lazy to make them right now. I'm making all sorts of other stuff. But I know those cookies aren't gluten-free. So I'm just like, all right, not for me. I'm going to find my other ways to indulge and treat myself this holiday season. It's not like I'm suffering and my life has no joy this Christmas because I can't eat the Christmas cookies. Like, I am finding other ways to enjoy myself. And that is part of the mental work that I have done around alcohol, around food. So it can be done. It can be done. And it really does. Being gluten-free does save you from overeating a lot of junk because gluten's in so many different things. All right, moving back. So we've removed the gut disruptors, the alcohol, the processed sugars and foods, the gluten and the dairy. Now, what do we want to add back in? I don't want to just say, hey, we deprive you and have you feel like in a state of deprivation. I want you to think about what you're going to add. This is where you tip the scales back in your favor. Eat the rainbow. You hear me talk about this a lot. Color equals phytonutrients. The different colors equals variety of those phytonutrients, which equals gut fuel, okay? This is going to feed all of that good gut bacteria, which helps produce the short chain fatty acids that you need to mentally feel well, metabolically feel well, sleep well, hormone balanced, everything, right? It's all starting here in the gut. So load up on fiber rich foods, veggies, beans, berries, seeds. Try to get 30 plus different plant varieties a week. And when I say plant varieties, I mean every types of plant. So we've got the beans, we've got, grains, we've got herbs and spices, fruits and veggies, like it all counts. Except meats. Meats do not count. So try to get 30 plus. It's easier than you think, especially when you start using spices to really up the ante. Poly-spice blends that have like 11 different spices in one little blend. Those are winners. And then rotate foods for microbial diversity. Again, challenge yourself to try new things. Maybe you have a favorite recipe, swap in a couple different items or add in a couple different items just to give it a little more diversity. And we want to add fermented foods, right? This is like your kimchi, your kefir, your yogurt, your pickled things, as long as they're low in sugar, right? Also, take a high quality probiotic. Now, pro tip here, I personalize probiotics for my clients because we're using genetic testing and GI panels to make sure they're getting the exact strains they need, because you can get really specific on this one. When we look at your gut terrain, um, we want to have redundancy. There's specific strains that do certain things, but if that strain gets wiped out and you only have one strain that does, let's say, make butyrate, which butyrate is a short chain fatty acid that's responsible for a lot of important things in your health. If that one gets wiped out and you don't have another, you're hurting. You're hurting. So we want to create redundancy. And so we want to diversify all the different types of bacteria in there. So when I look at what you have, you might be really high in a couple of really healthy strains, but really low in another strain, another family of bacteria that do different things in your gut. So we can really fine tune and shore things up when we get a snapshot of the balance of bacteria in your gut. And that's a test I do, a GI panel. Um, Next up, my favorite immunity tools lately. All right, these are my DIY immunity shots. They're all over Instagram. Just search it in Instagram, immunity shots. There's so many different kinds, but I have been making my own, blending up fresh ginger, turmeric, whole lemons, and oranges. I mix in coconut water or orange juice to maybe sweeten it up a little more. You can add a little bit of maple syrup or honey for sweetness. You can add cayenne if you want to give it a little heat. But the fun thing that I have been doing is freezing them in holiday ice molds. They're not ice molds. They were actually cupcake molds that I happen to have that were a snowflake and a heart one that kind of looks like it's like a donut heart. And throwing in raspberry and cranberries and orange peels and just all sorts of little festive looking things. And then you could splash of orange juice. You can do all sorts of stuff. Cranberry juice. I've seen some with apple cider vinegar, and then you have these adorable ice molds that you can then throw into a pretty glass, and you have a fun starter for a mocktail. Like, I have had a lot of fun with these. My kids are loving them. Highly, highly, highly recommend making these immunity shots. You could buy them at the store. They're super pricey, but honestly, if you make a big batch at home, you're winning. I have been drinking these regularly this week. Again, teetering on the edge of sickness. And I feel like this is something that tipped the scales back into me feeling good and being resilient and not getting full blown sick. So heck yeah, I'm all about it. Next up, this is another new one for me. I have been doing oil pulling and tongue scraping. So this is something I have heard about but not tried until this year. I found this awesome product on Amazon. Honestly, just Google coconut oil pulling, coconut and mint. I found one that's mint. So you just swish with it for like 2 to 5 minutes. And you just busybody around while you're doing it. I like wash my face, I fold laundry, do the dishes, whatever. It goes by quickly. And then after you're done, immediately use a copper tongue scraper. So you detox through your tongue, especially overnight. And so you want to do oil pulling first thing in the morning. and the oil continues to pull out the toxins. Now, your microbiome in your mouth, your oral microbiome is directly linked to your gut health. So this process of oil pulling helps detox your oral microbiome. And so that tongue scraper then pulls off those toxins that are coming out of the tongue that the oil pulled out of the tongue and that detoxed overnight out of your tongue. Wild, right? This is something I did. I had a couple like little sores in my mouth from like, I don't even know how I got them. You know, when you get a little sore and it won't heal. And I actually bit my tongue, my side of my cheek multiple times chewing gum like aggressively and it wasn't healing. And started doing oil pulling and oh my gosh, it like healed overnight. Um, it's been a fantastic tool. I'm putting it in everybody's stocking this year, a little bottle of this coconut mint oil pulling and a copper tongue scraper because I'm having such great feedback from this personally. Um, Next up, I am cooking with a shit ton of immune boosting spices. I just keep buying ginger and garlic and turmeric on repeat. I am using poly spice blends. You've heard me talk about this a lot, like Jamaican jerk, Kachari, or African Burberry. Spices work better together. Ancient cultures knew this. Synergy matters, okay? So find your favorite polyspice blend and just throw it on whatever you're cooking, your rice, your pasta, your veggies, everything. Everything. Throw it on everything. The more variety, the better. And then when you can use these fresh herbs like ginger, garlic, turmeric. Oh, I'm also using a ton of cilantro, a ton of parsley, fresh. It adds so much flavor. And again, all that gut diversity. The more stuff you could add like this, the better. Um, all right, this next one is a little pricey. You've heard me talk about these before, but I am just such a huge fan. Fiber shots from Farmer's Juice. These are little shots. They're like 2 ounces maybe. Yes, it's a splurge, but it's been a lifesaver. These tiny shots are packed with 11 grams of fiber, chia seeds, diverse gut supporting plants. There's a bunch of different flavors. They actually came out with a new one that's like a blueberry blend that's super tasty, kid friendly. There's a watermelon one, there's carrot. There's ginger, there's a greens one. My kids really like the watermelon and the blueberry and will even drink the carrot one. Um, so there is honestly, yes, could I make these smoothies at home? Sure. Would I end up throwing out a lot of it because my kids would decide they're not in the mood or they don't want it and then I end up throwing away all this, precious fresh fruit smoothie? Yeah, that happens all the time. So instead, no more wasted $10 smoothies. I literally just give them these 2 little shots. It's such a small volume that they're easy to drink quickly and fast, and, they're great for especially when their meals aren't that balanced, when they're just having, like, a protein and a carb, and they didn't get any veggies. I just give them one of these little fiber shots, and I feel like, okay, I've rounded out their meal with enough fiber and gut plant diversity, so we're staying on top of things. Love them. Farmer's Juice, check them out. All right. Next up, the supplement stack. All right. This is when I'm feeling run down. You don't need to be taking this daily. Most multivitamins have small amounts of some of these things, like zinc, vitamin C, selenium, even. But when you are sick, this trifecta, is the only trifecta that is proven to actually shorten the length and intensity of symptoms while you're sick. So, zinc, up to 40 milligrams daily. Selenium is something a lot of people don't know about, but if you do, if you're in the autoimmunity world, because selenium is really important for autoimmunity, it helps calm immune overreaction, right? So turns the dial down on your immune system so it's not overreacting. Next up, vitamin C. Now, I prefer when I'm sick to take buffered vitamin C because it allows you to take 2 grams, which is 2,000 milligrams. So it's a huge dose. If you took that as regular vitamin C, you would make yourself sick in your stomach. So buffered means they add these other minerals to it that makes it gentle on this tummy so that you can take 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C and give yourself this huge antioxidant dose, which will notably make you feel better without any upset to the tummy. So that's my little trifecta there: zinc, selenium, buffered vitamin C. Now, additionally, I love to throw in quercetin. Quercetin is spelled with a Q, Quercetin. This gained popularity during COVID because it was Great for calming mast cell activation. So it is great for sinuses, histamine, um, like respiratory issues. It basically calms mast cell activation. So that is essentially when your gut lining gets disrupted, the first layer of the immune system that flares are these mast cells. And that's where you start to get symptomatic. That's where symptoms flare and they can kind of get out of control. They just go crazy. And so we want to calm that reaction down. Um, Curcumin, another huge favorite of mine. I take curcumin daily, but it is particularly helpful when you're sick because it's anti-inflammatory. Again, it's going to calm the gut lining, calm the immune system, and calm any symptoms that are causing inflammation. Last but not least, omega 3s. Okay, these are great for immune regulation, they're great for inflammation. Love omega 3s. Again, something you should be taking daily, but particularly helpful when you are sick. So, also, I use gene specific support for immunity. Um, this is, again, something that you can learn more about through my gene testing and precision coaching package. When I test your genes, I am going to be able to spot all of the areas of your blueprint, your genetic blueprint, where you might be vulnerable and need a little more support on a nutrient level. And so that is what allows me to really be fine tuned in my approach to not only how you are eating, but what supplements we're taking and lifestyle recommendations. Okay. All right, so that is my quick and dirty immune boosting for the holidays. These things are working for me. They're working for my clients. They are proven, they are studied, and I think you should try them. If anything, I just want to inspire you to give you another tool, another layer of motivation to take days off from the holiday onslaught of gut sabotage that is making you sick. So, if you want to take it deeper, your immune system is very unique to your genes. And through gene testing, I help you uncover the exact support your body needs to stay resilient, especially during high stress seasons like this. So reach out to me. You can go to my website, mycheatcodenutrition.com, and send me an email. Check out my gene testing and personal precision nutrition coaching package so you can finally stop guessing and really get intentional and specific around your health in 2026. Let's build your immune system and gut resilience from the root. As always, I am with you. You got this. Thanks for tuning in to Cheat Code Nutrition. If today's episode sparked some curiosity about what your genes are trying to tell you, grab my free guide, 5 Genes You Should Know to Optimize Your Health. It's linked for you in the show notes. And if you're ready to skip the guesswork and start working with your actual blueprint, check out my genetic nutrition coaching offer, also linked in the show notes. Your next level of health might just be one test away. Until next time, stay curious, stay nourished, and don't forget, your body's not broken. It just speaks a different language. Let's learn to speak it fluently.